Good morning, friends. Today, let us explain BJT. BJT means bipolar junction transistor. It is a three-terminal device that these three terminals are emitter, base, and collector. This is the schematic diagram of transistor. Coming based on the doping, the construction of the transistor, it is divided into two types. One is NPN transistor and second one is PNP transistor. Coming to the NPN transistor, here the p-type semiconducting material is sandwiched between two n-type material. Look like this diagram. Here p-type semiconducting material is sandwiched between two n-type semiconducting materials, that is known as NPN transistor. In the case of PNP transistor, one n-type semiconducting material is sandwiched between two p-type semiconducting materials, that is known as PNP transistor. And these are the symbols for transistor. First one is NPN transistor symbol, second one is PNP transistor symbol. The difference between these two is, here we know we have to look at this symbol. Arrowhead is on the emitter, indicates the direction of the conventional current flow. In the case of NPN transistor, arrowhead on the emitter is outward direction. In the case of PNP transistor, arrowhead is inward direction. That means here current is flow from base to emitter. Here current is flow from emitter to base. And BJT is also having two junctions. The junction between emitter and base is known as emitter base junction, and the junction between base and collector is known as collector base junction. Simply it is known as emitter junction and collector junction. As it is having three regions, emitter, base, and collector, let us discuss about three regions briefly. The first one is emitter. Emitter is a left region of the transistor, and its function is to supply majority charge carriers, that are electrons in the case of NPN transistor and holes in the case of PNP transistor, to the base. Emitter is always forward bias with respect to base. Emitter is always forward bias with respect to base to supply majority charge carriers. As emitter is heavily doped, so that it may be inject large number of charge carriers, that are majority carriers, into the base. Coming to the second region, base. This is the middle region of the transistor. This is the middle region of the transistor. It is very thin and lightly doped. That means it is thinner than emitter and as well as collector region. Why it is thinner and lighter than both the regions? Whenever emitter injects large number of charge carriers into the base, only few number of electrons will recombine with the holes in the end region, and remaining electrons will collected by the collector. So it supplies most of the emitter injected charge carriers to the collector. And coming to the third region, this is known as collector region. It is the right part of the transistor. The main function of the collector is to collect majority charge carriers from its junction. Collect majority charge carriers from its junction. Collector is always reverse biased. Why? Because it collects the majority charge carriers. That means it removes the charge carriers away from its junction. Equivalent diagrams of transistor, like PN diode. Here equivalent diagrams, PN, anode and cathode, and P PNP cathode and anode. Equivalent diagram means this is the forward bias diode and this means two junctions connected to back. Okay, in the case of PNP, similarly in the case of NPN.